Photosynthesis. It's this absolutely incredible process that, believe it or not, turns sunlight into, well, pretty much everything around us. So, have you ever really stopped to think about that? How does a beam of light become, an apple or the very air you're breathing right now? The answer is this amazing, quiet process happening all around us all the time. It's called photosynthesis, and it literally builds our world from light and air. You can think of it as our planet's green engine. Seriously, it's this fundamental process that powers almost all life, and it's the absolute foundation of just about every food chain on Earth. And the name itself, photosynthesis, it's actually a huge clue. It comes from the Greek words phos for light and synthesis, which means combining together. So it literally means combining with light. How cool is that? It's a perfect description of what's going on. So the big takeaway here is that this is way more than just plants looking green. They're actually these incredible, tiny, self-sufficient factories. They take an energy source we can't use, sunlight, and turn it into chemical energy, basically a sugar that they can live on. It's pure alchemy. All right, so let's shrink ourselves down. We're going to take a tour inside one of these tiny factories to see exactly where this amazing transformation happens. We're going from the world we can see right down to the microscopic level. Okay, our journey starts somewhere you've seen a million times, but probably never thought about quite like this. A single leaf. This is basically the main solar collector for the whole plant. But we've got to go deeper. If we zoom in, you'll see the leaf is packed with billions of specialized cells. Think of these as the factory's workforce, every single one engineered for just one job, capturing sunlight. And that brings us to our final destination, the chloroplast. So, if the leaf is the factory building, the chloroplast is the actual assembly line inside. This is it. This is where all the magic really happens. So how does this little factory capture sunlight? Well, it uses special pigments that act like tiny solar panels. The main one you've probably heard of is chlorophyll. And here's a fun fact. Chlorophyll is amazing at absorbing blue and red light for energy, but it's terrible at absorbing green light. So what does it do? It reflects it. And that reflected green light is exactly why plants look green to us. Okay, so like any good factory, you need raw materials, right? You need ingredients to make something. Photosynthesis has a very specific recipe, but it's actually pretty simple, with just a few key components. The process really just combines two main ingredients that the plant pulls from the world around it, and then it uses the power of the sun to cook them up. Ingredient number 1, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. Yep, the very same stuff we breathe out. This CO2 gets into the leaf through thousands of tiny little pores on its surface. They're called stomata. Ingredient number 2, 6 molecules of water. Simple H2O. The plant's roots suck this up from the soil, and then it gets transported all the way up to the leaves through this kind of internal plumbing system. And the last, absolutely critical ingredient, well, it isn't really an ingredient at all. It's energy, sunlight, captured by those chlorophyll solar panels we just talked about. This is the spark that kicks the whole reaction into gear. Now, what's super interesting is how the factory actually processes all this. It's not just one big mashup. It's actually a really sophisticated two-step operation. So, you've got two main stages here. First is what we can call the power-up stage. This only happens when the sun is out. The plant captures all that light energy and uses it to charge up these tiny molecular batteries, things called ATP and NADPH. Then you've got the building stage. Now this part doesn't need sunlight directly. It just uses the power from those batteries that were just charged up to actually build the sugar molecule. It's brilliant. So you see the flow? It's super logical. First, you capture the energy. Then you use that energy to build something. It's exactly like charging your phone battery and then using that power to watch a video. Step 1 charges the battery, step 2 runs the machine. Okay, so let's talk about the final products. We've seen how the factory works on the inside. Now let's zoom all the way back out and see how this tiny, tiny process has such a massive impact on the entire planet. So after all that work, combining CO2 and water with a little bit of sunlight, what comes out the other end? Well, the factory spits out two incredibly important things. And when I say important, I mean vital for pretty much all of life on Earth. First up, the main event, 1 molecule of glucose. This is a simple sugar, a carbohydrate, and it is packed with that chemical energy that was originally captured from the sun. This is the good stuff. This sugar is what fuels the plant's growth, its entire life, really. But it doesn't just stop with the plant. Oh no. When another animal, or us, eats that plant, that energy gets passed on. This single sugar molecule is the absolute foundation of the food chain. It's the apple you eat, the wheat in your bread. It all started as glucose in a leaf. The second product? 6 molecules of oxygen. And here's the kicker. For the plant, oxygen is just a waste product. It doesn't need it, so it just releases it back into the atmosphere through those same little pores that used to breathe in the CO2. And that brings us to maybe the most important takeaway of all. This one single process does 2 absolutely world-defining things. First, it creates usable energy, forming the base of almost every food chain. And second, as kind of a happy accident, it produces the very oxygen that we and most other life forms need to breathe just to survive. It's incredible. It's just such a powerful reminder, isn't it? This tiny, silent factory, humming away inside every green leaf, is responsible for the huge living world all around us. This one elegant process built our world from scratch. Which leaves us with a final, really important question to think about. What's it going to take to protect it?